Hey everybody, my name is Gavin and I love horror. While I have seen many great horror films in 2022, none have really unnerved me or truly scared me for the most part. Well, that has all changed because I just checked out Smile, and let me tell you, this might be the scariest movie of 2022. Let's get into it. Before we get started, I would absolutely love if you'd leave a like for this video and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. Love doing live streams, love interacting with all of you. So if you leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I will greatly appreciate it. Also, leave a comment below for any videos that you see. I try to interact and respond to any comments left because I like interacting with y'all. You are my subscribers and I would have none of this without any of you. Smile is the writing and directorial debut of Parker Finn and is a full-length expansion of his short film, Laura Can't Sleep. Now, honestly, this was not a film that was on my radar to check out in theaters. Honestly, I thought it looked kind of low rent, like an Unfriended or maybe like the first Ouija movie. But then it kind of caught my attention because in the week leading up to the movie's release, they did a really cool viral campaign with Major League Baseball where they hired actors to sit behind home plate and just stare into the camera smiling. That is some brilliant marketing and definitely got my attention. A lot of you also reached out to me on Twitter and asked me if I was going to review it, and during my live stream on Friday, one of my subscribers, Kenneth, actually requested this movie for a review as well, so I figured, you know, I might as well check it out. Also had some good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, so I really had nothing to lose. Also, I'm gonna give a small spoiler warning here. I don't spoil much of the movie, but I do want you to know that there will be some spoilers throughout, including kind of what the entity looks like, which I'll go into at the end of this review. The plot of the movie follows Dr. Rose Cotter, who after witnessing the suicide of a patient, she begins being haunted by an entity who seems to travel from person to person, and there's this shared trauma that the entity brings to each victim. Make no mistake, the movie's big bad may be a supernatural entity, but the real villain is trauma. Rose witnesses her mother's own suicide as a child, and that really shapes who she becomes and follows her throughout her entire life. It's the reason she becomes a therapist. What could have been a very paint-by-number scarefest actually does some very interesting things with trauma and showing how trauma can affect us at a young age and follow us throughout our entire life. So I really appreciated that aspect of Smile. First off, I gotta say, this movie is absolutely terrifying and is going to bother me for days to come. Like, I just got out of the theater about an hour and a half ago, 2 hours before I started recording this, and your boy might have some nightmares because there are some images in this movie that are very unsettling, incredibly creepy, and downright terrifying. The movie had me stressed the entire time I watched a lot of the movie like this. Yes, I know I'm a horror YouTuber, I'm supposed to be desensitized and nothing should scare me, but I'm a human being, and if a movie is trying to scare you and it scares you, that means the movie did its job, and Smile does its job. Every jump scare in the movie is earned and nothing feels cheap. This movie really plays to the paranoia and you feel like you're right there with Rose, not knowing who's real, who's the entity. You're scanning every background shot into the deep abysses of background and the deep blackness that could be in the background. You're like, do I see something there? What's going on? The way the camera zooms and pans in the room just back and forth, you keep waiting for something to show up. Sometimes it does, sometimes it does not, but you are stressed the whole time. Like, my heart rate was going the entire movie and it never really lets up. You never feel like you can relax when you're watching Smile. While Smile does play up the supernatural elements, it does have plenty of the red stuff for anybody that likes gore. A lot of supernatural movies tend to more focus on jump scares and the unsettling supernatural elements. So it was nice to see a movie blend the supernatural jump scares with gore. You don't see it very often, but when you do, it's a nice mix, so therefore you can please the spooky, scary ghost fans and the we want gore, blood, so much blood. While there's undoubtedly not as much gore as what's going to be in like Terrifier 2 or Hellraiser, there is enough gore that if that's what you're looking for, you'll be pretty satisfied. I do have to say the movie's greatest asset is definitely the score. The score is creepy. Like many have said, the movie Halloween was not scary until they added the theme song and the score. And Smile would probably be scary without the score, but damn, does that score really make it creepy. Just there's some really unnerving sound bites and like little bit. I'm not a trained musician. I don't know how to really articulate what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are noises in the songs that make you feel, ooh, don't like that. Just little stingers and dings and just little, ooh, just eerie screeching on chalkboard type noises that will make your skin actually crawl. It was so bad, in fact, that they play some of the score that is super scary during the credits, and I had to leave the theater. Like, normally I'll try to watch the credits, see if there's anything like afterwards or whatever. I looked on my phone, saw there was nothing after the credits, and said, we need to leave now, because the music was making the credits scary. I was reading names and peeing my pants because music was real spooky. The movie is not perfect though, and does kind of fall into the trap of having a similar plot to a lot of other movies. You have to move the entity from one person to another within a set amount of time, or else you die. That's the plot of The Ring. It follows, and the often mentioned on this channel, Sinister. Also, towards the end, it does become a little tropey with like fake out endings and like, it's over, but it's not. It's over now, but it's still not. So that kind of got annoying after a while. Also, as the movie goes on, the jump scares become a little bit more predictable. You kind of know what the beats are going to be to get to that jump scare. So that was kind of disappointing. But the movie does never let up. And even though I could kind of predict the jump scares, I was still stressed. And this is just a personal thing for me. They also kill a cat in the movie. And as a cat owner, that always bothers me. You can kill as many people on film as you want in whatever ways you want. But the moment you hurt a kitty, I'm like, no, but why? And the movie did do this cat death very tastefully, or as tastefully and as traumatic as you possibly can for the characters in the movie. But still, I was like, oh, kitty died. And finally, let's talk about the entity and the entity's creature design. It is horrifying when you finally see it, because it appears as different people throughout the movie, but then when you see its true form, it kind of has more than one form, kind of like we're doing a Frieza thing from Dragon Ball Z, like, this isn't even my final form. You see the first form of the entity, and it's really, really scary. And then it peels that skin off, and you see the real face of the entity. And I am the kind of person that's seen a lot of body horror. I've seen The Thing. I've seen a lot of creature designs, and I thought nothing could scare me. Nothing's gonna bother me. And then the creature from Smile was like, I'ma bother you a lot. And now I'm gonna see that thing in my head when I try to go to bed now. Overall though, for a movie I had no interest in seeing, I was pleasantly surprised by just how good it actually was. I know Jason Blum actually said that he wishes that he had actually made this movie because he liked it so much. And the movie was going to just go to Paramount Plus as a streaming exclusive, but it did so well in test screenings, it gave it a theatrical release. So there's something to be said about that they decided to put it in theaters instead of just streaming it, because people wanted to see it. And it is a very good movie. It's very scary, and it's one that you definitely need to check out this Halloween season. But what did you think? Were you a fan of Smile, or did it not really hit the mark for you? Let me know in the comments below. Also, what was the biggest jump scare that got you in Smile? For me, that alarm that goes off towards the beginning, I was just like, nope, I'm out. I'm out already. But let me know in the comments below what you thought the scariest jump scare in Smile was. And as always, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, leave a like for this video, and until next time, I smiled a bunch during this. I really played that up, didn't I? Whatever, stay weird.